Hello, Internet. Um, it's Christian here. If you don't know who I am, my blog is My Undecided Life. District 6 tribute, as you can see, repping my gear. And I'm going to talk about my initial reactions to the Hunger Games movie. It is currently, by my clock, 3:11 a.m., and I just got home from the movie theater. I'm actually doing this outside because I'm afraid I'm going to wake up my parents or my little brothers, and that'll be bad. Um, First off, if you haven't seen the movie, two things. One, I'm going to talk about specific moments, so if you haven't seen it, don't watch it because it's. I'm going to talk about specific moments. There's going to be spoilers. But before you click off, I want to warn you. Don't go into it thinking that it's the Hunger Games movie. Think of it as a movie based off the Hunger Games, and that might help you a little bit. And that's all I'm going to say. So, if you haven't seen the movie yet, stop now, hit pause, and then come back to me later. All right. So I'm going to give you just another couple seconds if you haven't gotten off yet. Okay, I don't want to wait anymore. So I'm going to talk about the things I really liked and liked before I get to the stuff I didn't like, only because there's more stuff that I didn't like than I did like. Um, um, First of all, I think Josh Hutcherson and Elizabeth Banks did phenomenal, actually. I thought they were so perfect in their roles. Some of the other people I'll wait until the second half. Ooh, I feel like I'm speaking too loud. My parents are. I'm outside, but their room is right there, so I feel like I should be quieter. But overall, the acting was good. But like I said, I'll get to that later. Oh, and then Amanda Selberg. I don't remember what her name was. Rue. She did awesome. She was perfect. 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 Wow, that's really weird. Okay. Sorry, I'm already at 2 minutes 30. I haven't gotten to anything like really meaty yet, so I'm going to speed this up. I actually loved the Capitol. It was perfect. It wasn't quite how I imagined it, but it worked so well. District 12 looked really good too. Different from what I thought, but it kind of made me realize that how modern the Hunger Games really are. Because when I was reading the books, I kind of felt it more, I don't want to say primitive, but kind of more like early 1900s, late 1800s. And then kind of seeing it this light, it made me realize, no, it's basically now, but just poor areas. So that was good. Sorry, it's hard for me to think about everything I like right now because I'm just so focused on the things that I didn't like. The fireball scene was perfect. I loved it. When they're shooting the fireballs, it was just as good as it made it look in the very, very first initial teaser that they played. That was perfect. I loved the track of Jacker scene. I loved it. It was so perfect. Stupid light. Okay, it was so perfect. Okay, that's it. On to the things I didn't like, or I had issues with, to say, to put it nicely. I didn't like the train ride at all. That's probably my least favorite part of the movie, just because it was just so different. It wasn't even close to the same as the books. It's Katniss and Peeta's interaction and their interaction with Haymitch and Effie were just. It was just completely different. It wasn't what's in the book. They didn't, eat with their hands to piss off Effie. Haymitch wasn't as angry, drunk as he was in the books. She didn't throw the knife. He didn't really, get up and get at Haymitch. And I felt that was really, really important in the book so that established Haymitch's relationship with Katniss and Peeta. And the way it was done in the movie, it just didn't grab that feel that I know how that relationship develops. It didn't start off the way it needed to. Okay, moving on. The training and the chariot parade and all that was really cool. It was really cool. I liked it a lot. Sorry, I'm supposed to talk about things I don't like. The cornucopia. Why wasn't it gold? Like, that's the overarching theme of what I didn't like in the Hunger Games movie was that there's so many little details that would have been easy to incorporate into the movie, but they didn't. Like cornucopia, why couldn't it be gold? Like that doesn't seem like, a big deal that it was silver, but they could have just painted it gold. And the cornucopia is the symbol of the Hunger Games itself, and kind of the series of this danger and this giving and taking that the Capitol has. And I don't know, as it not being gold, it just wasn't right. Some parts weren't bloody enough for me. I know it was about PG-13, but take for example, when Thresh kills Quove. He doesn't smash her head in with a rock, which is what I wanted and I was expecting. But he kind of threw her against the cornucopia, and I guess her neck snapped. I don't know. I didn't really get it, to be honest, because they didn't show it. They just showed him throwing her and then her falling to the ground, which wouldn't be that big a deal, except at the very beginning when they're doing previews or highlights of last year's games. They showed a guy. They didn't show him smashing the kid with the brick, but you saw him going down with the brick and then holding it up, and there was blood there. And that's what pissed me off, because that should have been Thresh killing Clove. I would have been kind of fine with it, with the way they killed it, if they didn't have, the exact way it happens earlier in the movie. How could you not put that? If you already did it once, how could you not make it for the people that it was supposed to be? Come on. Come on. And there's a lot of little things like that. The mutts at the very end, which I don't know how to do CGI, so I can't really speak about how it's done. But I feel if you're gonna make these CGI creations already, at least do it right. They weren't even wolves. They were pit bulls. They were just large pit bulls, and they didn't have the tribute's eyes, and they weren't each of the fallen tributes, which I know it could have been difficult to do and get Katniss's reaction to their faces, and I get that might not have been possible, but they couldn't have thrown some fur to make them wolves. Come on. It's little things like that that were so important, so iconic moments that just weren't there. I'll go into some specifics that extremely frustrated me, certain lines that were iconic in the book and in the series and weren't in the film, and easily could have been. Going back to the train ride, when they asked, do you have any advice? That whole scene was changed, and there was no, I forgot who had asked Haymitch, do you have any advice? And he says, stay alive. That interaction didn't happen, which is such an important moment, and it comes pulled out back later in the series. And I feel like that could have easily been done different, and they easily could have incorporated that, and they didn't. When Katniss finds Peeta, when he's all covered in moss and stuff, he didn't say, are you here to finish me off, sweetheart? Which I think was also really important, because it kind of shows this relationship that Peeta and Katniss have, and that they have with Haymitch. And it would have really been hard to have Josh Hutcherson say that. Really? Really? And they didn't end it right. It ended kind of, at least for Peeta and Katniss, them smiling and waving at the crowd and looking genuinely happy. They didn't include Peeta asking/staying, so it was all for the games. I want everyone to kind of let that sink in. They did not have Peeta ask/say, so it was all for the games. I don't even feel like I need to really talk about that, because that is such an iconic moment that's so important that explains why Peeta and Katniss' relationship kind of crumbles at the beginning of Catching Fire. And they didn't include that. And it gave it too much of a granted, they had Seneca and Snow and a little bit that kind of made it more ominous, but Peeta and Katniss ended too happy. They needed to set up that kind of dissolution of their relationship into Catching Fire, because now people are going to be like, whoa, what the hell happened? I forgot there's one thing I really, really liked. I love they had Seneca with the berries at the end. I love Oh, I love that. That was so good. I'm almost hitting 10 minutes now, so I'm hoping I've hit everything, and I really need to stop talking soon because odds are almost none of you have even watched it this far. I just had to talk about my emotions. I don't know. I don't know if it was rushed or if they didn't allocate their time, but the sense and the feeling that you get about what kind of world this is that makes children fight and what this means in a political sense and what Katniss's moves meant in a political and social aspect. I don't feel like they didn't really come through in the movie, and I don't know how to have made that come through better, but I kind of feel like that wasn't really there. I also feel like the cave scene was really short, which I get it. They don't have a lot of time, and a lot of that stuff's repetitive, but it didn't really show how Katniss and Peeta kind of got closer there. They didn't show, like, they could have done a montage of them, talking to each other, or him playing with her hair, or them kissing or something. And I don't know, it just didn't feel right. I'm sure there's a lot more that I can talk about later. Like I said earlier, it wasn't the Hunger Games movie. It didn't have that feel. It didn't have those key moments that really made the Hunger Games the Hunger Games. It was kind of like a movie based on the Hunger Games, which I get that's what it is. It's a movie based off the Hunger Games, but I feel like myself and so much of the fandom were expecting the Hunger Games movie, and that's not what we got. So, in that sense, it's kind of like, ugh, what is this crap? But on the other sense, the other hand, I'm sorry, I'm tired. It's the Hunger Games. Of course I'm going to love it. It's the Hunger Games. Of course I'm going to love it and want to see it over and over again. But as an adaptation of the book, I felt like too many important details that were iconic to the series and too many lines that could have easily been incorporated weren't. And that really ruined the feel of the Hunger Games for me. As a movie itself, oh wait, before I get to there, I need to talk about the acting a little bit more. I didn't really like Woody Harrelson as Haymitch. I'm sorry, he just didn't seem angry enough. Like I always got the feeling he was an angry drunk. Like he didn't even when after they kind of had the little spats and stuff that he didn't really like Peeta and Katniss yet. But he kind of liked them a little too soon. I don't know, just my feeling, it just wasn't right. I don't know, it just didn't feel right. Maybe because we didn't get enough screen time of Haymitch. I don't know. Lenny Kravitz was better than I expected. Still not Cinna to me. I'm sorry, he doesn't look like Cinna. He doesn't talk like Cinna. His body language just didn't read Cinna to me. Like I said, it could have been a lot worse. I was expecting a lot worse from Lenny Kravitz. But it just wasn't Cinna to me. I'm sorry. I know so many people disagree. And then the biggie, Jennifer Lawrence as Katniss. I know some of the people I saw it with didn't like her as Katniss at all. They didn't feel she really brought that out. And I don't know, I absolutely love Jennifer Lawrence. I've seen a lot of her other movies, and I love her as an actress and as a person from what I've seen in interviews. So I feel like I'm looking through, like, what is it saying, like rose-colored glasses or something like that, or tinted glasses? Like, I want her to be amazing. And I don't know if she was, just because I had this notion that Jennifer Lawrence is perfect and she can do no wrong. And that's another reason why I want to see the movie a couple more times, to really be able to detach myself from that and detach myself, the books, and the movie from each other. So I can really look at it and really make a decision. Was this good? Was this not good? Was she good? Was she not good? Overall, as an adaptation of the book, I'd probably only give it like a C. I know a lot of you are going to disagree with me, but I want you to take a step back and really look at the feel of the movie and those important moments that just kind of weren't there. I really don't think it captured the feel that Suzanne Collins created in the book. And I know that's going to be hard, but what do you expect? Like what else are you supposed to do? That's the point of making these movies. As a movie itself, I don't know. I'm too blinded by my initial reactions to really fairly judge it, which is another reason why I want to see it a couple more times. I mean, I'm still going to love it. I mean, it's the Hunger Games. How can I not love it? I'm such a part of this fandom. Hello. But I don't know, you guys. I think the best... Oh, I'm already over 15 minutes. I'm sure none of you are watching. So if you have managed to skip to the end, I just got to sum it up like this. I'm confused. I don't know how I feel. I really want to love it, but all of these important moments just weren't captured, and these important feelings weren't captured, but I want to love it so much. It just... I don't know, you guys. I don't know. And I'm sure some of you really, really loved it, and I'm sure some of you really, really hated it, but I don't know. And in my opinion, that should be the proper reaction, just because... I don't know, you guys. I don't know. I want to love it, and I do love it, but it just... it didn't feel like the Hunger Games. Okay. Bye.